Oh.
I mean, she owns a gym. She's in shape. Like, you know.
And, but that was it. Like, I did not hit her up for press, for paparazzi. I really wanted a friend. I needed a friend. And to have a gay woman friend in a conservative town would have been, great. So that's why I DM'd her. I didn't realize what was going on in her marriage at the time. She's, been divorced for over a year probably now. And then just one thing led to another. I will say, Fernanda is a great human. We were better suited as friends. We did have a great time. We did. But I think our connection was more, I mean, she's hot.
Yeah.
So.
She is hot.
Yeah, she is
I've
hot.
had her on this show, and I'm like,
Yeah,
like,
she's hot.
This is nice here.
And
I'm a gold star.
Like, how could I not?
Yeah.
But we're better suited as friends.
That makes sense. Well, why do you? I mean, I don't know. It all goes back to the same, like.
And as far as the calling paparazzi, can we all just take a minute to say two things? One, Kelly Dodd put my address on the internet. I did not live in a gated community at the time. We all lived in the same community, not gated.
Thank you, Kelly Dodd.
That photo of me and Chris was a big deal. It had nothing to do with me. There was no calling the paparazzi. They sat in front of my home. There was 2 cars for a long time. Even my kids would get to the point to wait. The first time it happened, I was scared, but I realized what it was. They followed me. And that's just the truth of it. Because I was the first gay housewife dating a woman. Those photos were worth something.
Yeah.
It wasn't me calling them. They get paid money for those. That's it. Am I getting followed now? No. Because now I'm just doing boring shit like watching the English baking show with my girlfriend.
And going to Coachella. And
but you have to put in context that time period. And I remember some of my castmates, there's no paparazzi at the beach. You're right. They would follow me from my home. And I just got used to it, and I didn't care. Whatever, it is what it is.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen to me anymore. So there was a brief amount of time where that was the case. That time has ended. I live in a gated community now. But those photos were worth a lot of money. When I was first dating Victoria, we were at the beach in Miami. I didn't know they were there, but we had posted that they were there. There's certain places you're more likely to. Miami's one of them. But just so you guys know, we don't call them. They get paid for the photos. That's it.
Period.
If there's not a need, they're not taking the photos. So
no.
And that's just how this works.
Right. They're not on Bieber 24/7 because he's so wonderful and great. It's
and Kelly Dodd had the same thing. Kelly Dodd had the same kind of when we both were let go at the same time because they knew where we lived, same community. They were following both of us. It wasn't just me. It was just. That is the culture. I'm sure other housewives have had times in their life where that happens too.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Yes and yes.
Yeah, now it doesn't. Now no one follows me except for my dog.
I'm sorry. Well, you speak of losing your job. So then after you lost your job, along with Kelly Dodd and Elizabeth Vargas, it's okay. I've been fired from many jobs, and this is why I've worked for myself for the past gazillion years. So after you lost your job, then there was this... I don't know if it was on radio, but Andy Cohen said, with Braunwyn, she was going through, coming out as gay and and being an alcoholic, and there was just so much, and he implied there was just a lot of stuff.
I mean, I took it as you're not mentally stable. That's how.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I was like, that's weird because none of you talked to me. So how the hell would you know? Because no one told me. No one talked to me. No one checked in. I was doing great. Was it hard to get sober? Sure. On everyone, that first year is intense. But, that was lame. I'm probably one of the most stable housewives there is right now. I put in the work. Do I have issues? Absolutely. I have past trauma. I have stuff. I work on them. But let's be honest. I've seen many a housewife spiral, and their cameras are right there front and center. They don't care about our mental health. That's bullshit. Don't even pretend to care about our mental health. You don't. As long as we're not a liability and we're bringing in money. I think it was more, I was very polarizing during Black Lives Matter. Very. I still am. I can't keep my mouth shut about social justice. I mean, I remember when Shannon's like, I don't do politics. I'm like, it's not fucking politics. It's human lives. Okay,
right.
Whatever. But I am very polarizing. I am an out and proud liberal that fights for social justice as much as I can. That put off a lot of people. I was getting death threats. I lost tons of followers. I remember when I did the movement, Not a Moment, asking production not to tell my cast members because they're going to come after me with a bullseye, and they did. You know, a lot of the things they said were lies. I have text messages from them, racist text messages from them that I never put out there. But this is how I met Noella. This is how I met Noella. I was coming to a protest in Orange County in Newport Beach, and I had a group text with everyone from the cast, and someone had sent a photo of Corona Del Mar all boarded up. That's where we live in Newport Beach. And I was like, oh, you're there? Awesome. I'm coming too. We should all go together. Because I thought, how great would that be to all the housewives to show up in solidarity, you know, for Black Lives Matter. Keep in mind, this is Corona Del Mar. It was like a parade. It's the safest place in the world. It wasn't what you were seeing in Portland. Like Newport's not that.
Safe.
It was strollers and old people, and you know the police were handing out water. And so and that was not her point. And so it became racist memes. You're a bad mom. You're a terrorist. Now this is what the group chat with the other women I'm filming with is becoming. I'm like, so I call my showrunner. I said, I cannot film with these fucking women. This is probably another reason I was fired. Like, I cannot film with these people. I cannot stand them. They are racist. I cannot do this. And he said, call Noella. She had been in casting in the thing the year before, hadn't got casted. He said, call her. I think you guys are going to get along. And that's how I met Noella, because she was a like-minded social warrior justice person. And we bonded over this, you know, in this time of Black Lives Matter, because we both cared about our city and we wanted to make change for the better. Obviously, she is half Black. So for her, it's personal for her and her children. For me, it was just, you know, the feeling that every life matters and every life should be equal.
Yes and yes.
Yeah.
That's all true, and I didn't realize that was how you met Noella.
Yes. Oh, and I will say this too, because this is another thing, because I forget them. Kelly said I called a photographer to take photos of me at Black Lives Matter. I have beautiful photos from the Huntington Beach one, which was not peaceful. My children were not at that one. I had done something called Wives Helping Lives when the pandemic first hit with Jennifer Armstrong, the new housewife. And we had been putting together care packages for the nurses. And a photographer had come and helped us take photos for that. And she just happened to be at the Huntington Beach protest, and she recognized me because we'd worked together. And so afterwards, she said, hey, I have some beautiful photos. And she sent them to me. She was there on her own. I was there on my own with my friend at the time. And the photos she took, some were with me, but some of them were just like, there was one of a young girl standing up to the National Guard. I mean, they were powerful, beautiful photos that needed to be seen. I didn't hire her. I just happened to know her from something else I had done. And for that to have been giving legs to was not cool.
That was giving legs, yes.
Yeah.
Yes and yes. So going back to the Andy thing for a second, yes, I do agree with you that if we're being honest, right, no one cares about your mental well-being. No.
I mean, we're collateral damage. You know, we are easily replaceable. Never get a big head because there's a million of us that want this opportunity, and everyone thinks it'll be different for them.
No. I've said this so many times that in my next life, or if I had any time in this one, which I don't, I would have a consulting business, and the minute you got hired for Housewives, you would call me, and I would sit you down, and I would say, this is how your first year is going to be, this is how your second year is going to be, and this is all the things you should do. And the day it's over is the day that, like, the door is basically slammed on you and your phone calls probably will never be returned again.
No, and why even bother trying? When you're out, you're out.
Yeah, 100%.
And
everyone thinks it's going to be different. It's not.
Oh, I didn't. I knew. And I was fine with it. Luckily, my passion is sobriety. So for me, it was like, okay, I'm not going to do that, but I still have a platform to do what matters to me. And I've been able to thrive in that.